Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. So pleased to be before you again today. Sound like I'm in church. I'm so happy to be here today. Listen, we got a lot to talk about as usual. This stock market is insane. But first, make sure you hit that like. Make sure you subscribe, okay? And the notification bell. All right. So let's just get right into it. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Big tech is absolutely killing it. Look at that. We got Tesla green, Nvidia green, Apple green, Microsoft green, Amazon green. All right. For now, while you see it. Okay. So you're going to hear some talking heads that is just going to continue to say that this is going. This bull is unstoppable. You see this big bull here? They're saying that he is unstoppable. All right, good people. And so I don't know. All I know is I make money every day, right? And all I know is I try to help you guys make money every day because we don't tap out. We don't operate in fear, right? We buy, but we also have our stop losses set because you guys saw what happened the other day, right? So let's just go right into that, shall we? Let's look at this. Did I delete the wrong one? Yes, I did. All right. All right, let's go here. So now look at this. All right. So we went over this yesterday. All right. So I had to use a little clickbait on yesterday's video so you guys could see where we were going. Hopefully you listened to the video and you will have a better idea what's going on with these markets, right? Sounds like in these streets with this market. All right, so we have the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P, right? We know that the Dow is the least significant, but here's what happened. We need to go over this again to see where we're going. So yesterday, when we had CPI, of course, we had PPI this morning, Producers Price Index. CPI is the real data point that the Fed really follows, especially core CPI and PCE. PPI, All right, so what's going on is what happened yesterday. Remember how it ran up? Okay, we have the 10th, right? So this is the 10th right here at this point. So on the 10th, it actually started and from the 9th. And what happens? We knew the Fed was talking for 2 days. He was on the hill and it was priced in, okay? It was AKA leaked that the inflation data was going to be good, meaning inflation coming down, right? So since it was already priced in, which is buy the rumor, sell the news, but that's not what I was looking for, it actually sold off. Why did it sell off? Because it was already priced in, okay? And then it sold off, right? Coming right back. See how it sold off? Coming right back to the runoff. So it started here and then it sold off, came right back. And then we had the scare. Oh my God, everything is going down. We're crashing. We're going to burn. And then pop right back up. And actually, where we were, the highs on yesterday, we're higher today. All right. But now watch this. If I add the Russell 2000, remember the NASDAQ, this tracks QQQ. All right. So this is the QQQ for those of you that play option. The Dow is insignificant. The S&P, that's the SPY, okay? 500 companies. And I believe this is like 3,400 companies. Correct me, okay? So, but now the Russell 2000 is the small caps. Watch what happens when I add it. You see it did the opposite. Remember, this is the 11th. This is when CPI came out showing that inflation was in fact cooling off. So while everything else was tanking, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P, the orange to the top is the Russell. Look what it was doing. It started spiking, okay? And so did crypto. All right, so that was a cool lesson for you to see right there with the charts, okay? So let's keep it going because I have a lot that I also wanted to share with you guys. You know what? I'm going to play this video, this short video, and I want you to hear what this gentleman says about the overall stock market, all right? And he is bullish, meaning he thinks we're going to have a soft landing.
Based on their own secular phenomena. What we're seeing and hoping is that the broadening will come as a result of the weather getting better. People feeling more and more comfortable and confident that the soft landing scenario that we're all hoping for comes to fruition. And the data that we've received over the last couple of weeks with the jobs numbers last week and CPI yesterday support that there's going to be a Fed cut, and ultimately that if it's the beginning of a series of cuts, should result in positive economic outcome and perhaps will manage the very, very challenging outcome of getting to a soft landing.
What happened today, Ron, that made the Dow move as high as it is?
Well, I think a couple of things. Consumer expectations eased off a little bit, which once again reinforces that the Federal Reserve probably needs to make an interest rate cut. Inflation expectations among consumers included in that University of Michigan sentiment reading that came out today fell to the lowest level we've seen in quite a number of months. And PPI for, coming in slightly above expectations wasn't really all that hot and doesn't change the inflation narrative much. And so I think, as was being said, the soft landing scenario looks quite good. The Atlanta Fed just upgraded its GDP forecast for the second quarter from 1.5% to 2% annual rate of growth. It still looks fairly Goldilocks here. And indeed, if it's going to broaden out, if the economy is going to stay in, lower interest rates generally will favor small caps as well as large caps. But they'll get that tailwind that they've needed. Yeah.
So he mentioned two things that are growing GDP. So if the GDP continues to grow, the stock market will have fuel to continue to grow. But he also mentioned the market broadening. So what he means by that is we just have a few stock that's been holding the entire, the Mag 7, Mag 6, whatever you want to call it, that's actually big tech, and specifically AI driven big tech that's been holding the entire stock market up. But a lot of stocks are not doing good. Most are under 12, and most are actually only positive 6%, while big tech is just killing it. Stocks like Nvidia, that type of deal, right? And so for those of you that say, hey, it's too frothy, yes, it is. But look at Nvidia, look at the day, look at the week, and then look at the month. You'll see positive, 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 even with the dips. So we continue to ride the rocket. That's why I like trailing stop losses, not regular stop losses. Trailing stop losses, I'm a big fan of letting the tools work for you. And if you're up 100% on a stock, then I wouldn't have my stop loss, my trailing stop loss set at 5, have it set at 10, on big tech stocks. So here's what I want to say, all right? Are you buying momentum or are you buying fundamentals? I took this note down. People that bought at the top of the market, like Tesla, Nvidia, etc., are prompt to take more profits because they bought at the top of the market. Follow? But fundamental investors, long-term investors that bought Nvidia, that started buying Nvidia at $40 and back then, and you are up 100, 200%. And even if you're up 50% because you've been dollar cost averaging on your way up, which is still better. Don't look at that number. Don't be a slave to a percentage, because when you put more money in, you could lower the percentage of gain and still make more money off of the money. That's the beauty of compounding interest. All right, we're going to leave that alone. Okay, before we go into crypto, I want to tell you guys that this is brought to you by Stock Up You. Listen, everybody keeps asking about Stock Up You. Go there, please, for yourself and check out what you get. Of course, you get stocks, you get crypto, you get beginners charting, options for beginners, and all of that. But just go down here and you could see all of the classes, every one, and then hit this and you could see every single class. You get a boat load, and you can now pay now. You can buy now and pay later using Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna at checkout. Now, I want to play a video for you guys about crypto, and we'll comment after that.
A Bitcoin valuation indicator, CryptoQuant's Bitcoin Profit and Loss Index, is now hovering around its own 365-day moving average. And in the past, a crossover of the index to the downside has, in fact, marked some major corrections, including one between May and July of 21, and another that same year between November and December. So far this year, Bitcoin's still up 35%, trading around 58K, let's say. interesting measures to see where the price may go from here.
Well, you know what else is making people bullish on Bitcoin again is Donald Trump, who has declared himself the Bitcoin candidate, president. He did that back in May, and actually we've seen a pivot from the Biden administration, friendlier as well. But people are excited about that. I noticed the flows into Bitcoin, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, on the flows last week were also very strong.
Now let's look into a crypto right quick. We got the crypto bubble. Let's do a quick refresh. We can see it's kind of mixed. We got red and we have green. I would call that equal. The red just kind of stands out more, pops more to the eye. We can see for the hour, it's mixed. For the day, it's actually more green, all right? For the week, it's even more green, all right? So, but don't let that fool you. For the month, it's still red. Crypto is a patience game, good people. We have to be patient with crypto. And if you're not in it long term to win it. So let me show you guys this. So yes, good people, we got good news right now. Everything is fine. We're flying high. But the truth be told, over this summer, we could fall from where we are now. We could revisit all the way back down here to the 53. The truth be told, we can revisit 50 right here. We could come down and we could revisit. I'm not saying we are. That's too far out to find out. But I believe that we could come down here with no problem. We could actually come down here and revisit that. All right. So we can revisit this with no problem this summer because we have a lot of time. So I'm going to continue to tell you guys that we have time for crypto. What does this say for me? For me, it just tells me it's a good time to just simply accumulate. Dollar cost average again, start accumulation. So there are lows, time to accumulate, and then you miss that, then it steps up. And then this time period, this may be the best time to accumulate, and then it moves up. Remember, we started this conversation when Bitcoin was at 14,000. I played you the video the other day. So we keep getting these zones where it's a good time to accumulate. I believe that this is the last big hurrah as far as accumulation on Bitcoin, altcoins, and meme coins. I believe this is the last hurrah, and I mean all summer. And yes, there's going to be down. And when it looks bullish, it's going to start trending down sometimes. And that's why I'm a huge fan of setting buy orders at low prices. Please just go out at least 30 days. You can go out 30 to 90 days. See what the lows are in your altcoins and your meme coins and set buy orders there. So remember, I chase the red. Anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. That's what I'm just doing, okay? So here's some of the headlines. Look at that. Dow, 400 points. The Dow reached all-time record highs. Look at this. Dow reaches record highs. What else reached record highs this week? The NASDAQ and the S&P. So you got the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P all reaching all-time highs. Now, good people, if you want to tune out right here, I know this one is long. If you want to tune out right here, you go ahead. I'm going to talk about something personal. Tonight, I'm going to see some of the greatest musicians in the world. And I really, really, really love, this is my favorite band I'm going to see. I'm going to see two of my favorite bands. One is Chicago, but my favorite band of all time is Earth, Wind, and Fire. And so they invited my wife and myself to come out. They called my man Ralph from Earth, Wind, and Fire. Man, I can't wait to see you and hang out with you this evening. So the stock talk is over. I just want to just talk about this. So this is going to be about me a little bit. Sorry, good people. Y'all know that's not my style. But I just want to say, hey, man, this music, I was in the music industry before I started doing this years back. I started in the music industry in the 80s, right? And I'm just excited because, man, I love good music, ton of gospel. I like bands. You know, I've seen them all. I've seen Prince. I've seen Morris Day at a Time open for Prince. I've seen it all. I've seen the Jackson 5, to date myself. So I saw Mike, you know, and then I worked in the music industry and I've seen them all. But then I have some that are my I don't like to use the word idols, but they're just guys that I just looked up to, like James Brown and Earth, Wind, and Fire, those type of guys who were part of the soundtrack of your life. Chicago, the band Chicago. I was a huge brass fan. And I'm just going to share with you some of these pictures. That's my man, Morris Day. A few of you guys asked me to share some of my backstory, so this is what it is. So the stock is over, just sign off, don't complain. All right. But that's my man, Morris Day. And the time we went to go see them, you talking about a show. You guys know who this is. He is the hit maker himself. David Foster. Got to celebrate his 60th birthday with him. Man, you talking about one of the kings of all time. This night, I will never forget it. I looked like I hadn't had sleep in like a month, but James Brown, it was like one of the only pictures he took that night. Man, I'll never forget that. That's my man, Nathan East, bass player, the bass player. I even sponsored a concert with Israel Houghton. You see here? All right. And you know who that is beside him. Y'all leave me a comment. Who is that beside him? He'll get mad if I show this picture. All right. So, and then my man, Brian McKnight. You guys see that? That's my man. Worked with him on numerous occasions. You guys remember John Cicada? Man, that's really, really nice brother. And I actually sang with the Temptations. Look at that. We were singing My Girl. I got invited on stage to sing with the Temptations at the Star Plaza Theater. And then here we go. This is Earth, Wind, and Fire. My man Ralph to the right there. I can't wait. And then my bass idol to the left there. Look, you can't, Verdeem. Oh my God, you can't get any better than that. All right. And so, good people, I just love music, man. And I just like it where there's no fights, no teeny boppers, just good, solid music. Yeah, I like some of the new bands. I've seen Beyonce live. I've seen Jay live. I've seen them all live. Kanye, I used to get my hair cut at same barber. Used to see him. I've seen a lot of the newer ones. I'm not a Swiftie. Sorry, don't kill me. But just love good music. And then, Fred Hammond, when it comes to the gospel, I got a bunch of like gospel pictures. That's my life. But I just love good music, and I'm going to have a good time tonight. So that's why I'm smiling. I just feel good. Thought I'd share a little of the inside of my life with you guys. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Make sure you check out the links below. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Come on, man. We're going to have a good time tonight. And, I'm going to have one of the guys on one of these days and just talk about their future dates. If you are a musician, I mean a real musician, I'm not talking about digital. I got a recording studio over there. I got plenty of the digital stuff, but I also got the analog, the real stuff. If you are a real musician, I challenge you to get around some real musicians and really, really see what your craft is all about. I love you guys. We'll see you later. Live, love, laugh, and learn.